Oh my gosh, I am so excited. From the moment I met you and Soraya, I knew that there was just this connection. And you two are just such truly sweet, genuine, authentic people on this path that I look up to. So once I spoke to you, I knew it was a no brainer, just as in I've always wanted to share my story about myself and my children and have something for my children to read when they get older as well. So
I am so excited to be here today. Today, I have the honor of welcoming a truly radiant soul, Christina MacDonald, to the Be Light to Raise Light podcast. Christina is not only one of our 19 co-authors of Be Light to Raise Light book, she is also a mother, a mother of two beautiful daughters, but also a woman who has walked through deep transformation with such courage and grace. Her journey is one of self-discovery, healing, and awakening, reminding us that even our most difficult seasons, there is always light waiting to rise within us. Christina's story is powerful, but more than that, her presence carries a wisdom that touches the heart. We won't share her whole story just yet. That's for the pages of our book. But today, she'll give us a glimpse into her journey, the practices that ground her, and the love that guides her as both a woman and a mother. Christina is such a gift to have you here with us today. And I just want to say, welcome to Be Light to Raise Light. How are you? How are you doing? So excited to be here. Be Light to Raise Light. So excited to have you. One of the biggest things is I'm excited to do this podcast with you. So grateful for you. Thank you for being here.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to talk to you, to share my story, just to be here. So thank you so much for having me.
Oh my goodness. Your story lit up mine and Soraya's soul and heart. It really talks a lot about motherhood and how we're raised in order to raise our kids. But you did a transformation. You went through a transformation, and I cannot wait for the audience to be able to read this book to actually feel the entire story that you've written. And there's one thing I wanted to ask you first is, before we start this entire conversation is Be Light to Raise Light. Why? How and why? And are you excited to be in this journey with us?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. From the moment I met you and Soraya, I knew that there was just this connection. And you two are just such truly sweet, genuine, authentic people on this path that I look up to. So once I spoke to you, I knew it was a no brainer, just as in I've always wanted to share my story about myself and my children and have something for my children to read when they get older as well. So yeah, I'm
Yes.
just so excited.
Yeah, a legacy, right? To keep when you're gone. This is one of the biggest things would be like to be like, it's like we want every woman to rise and rise not just with this book, but to elevate themselves, their business, their entire life, their family all together and have it in their arms and in their hands and say, yes, this is it. This is it. Christina, I'm going to dive right into some of these questions. And I think it's so important. I want you to look at the journey inward with your book. And I want you to share how your path of self-discovery truly began after the life-changing transition. So looking back now, what was one of your first moments where you felt a shift, a spark that told you you were stepping into a new chapter of your life?
I love this question. I really had to think about it. And I really think that when I was confused and lost in my divorce, I was depressed, I was feeling really dark. And I remember listening to The Secret. And
Mhm.
it was the kind of thing that it just kind of gave me that hope that there's more out there. There's more than the surface. There's more than this material world. Like those little glimpses of magic. Um, in creation and hope that I'd seen at times in my life. It gave me that just ability to see that it's possible out there. And from there, I remember thinking, wow, I'd love to be farther along and healed
Yes.
and have that, those limiting beliefs gone. But I remember it started that curiosity,
Mhm.
which led me into tarot, which eventually led me into
Yeah.
astrology, which kept me going down my path to where I am today. But I just remember that little glimpse of hope and excitement of there's more than not only the mundane, but the trauma I was going through. So that was really exciting to find that spark, like you said. This is new. This is the new path. So
Your path is beautifully shared in your story. And I just love every bit of pieces of the story that you shared, especially when you were going through it as a child. I think that's really important. Christina, you talked a lot about how your mom influenced you as a child, how it was always about her or the highway kind of a thing, and how you grew up thinking you didn't have your own thoughts. You didn't know what was right, what was wrong, and how that actually fit into your, like, your entire world. And so I would love for you to share a little bit about that, just a little bit. How is it that you were in your path growing up this way, and today you're a mom of beautiful two daughters? How is it that you now raise your kids differently? So what is the two difference? Because, we all grow up in a beautiful world of families. Our parents will do their best to take care of us and to lead us in different ways. We all know that. You know that too. It's in your story. But we go through this, and it's very difficult for us to transform to a different person because we're mentally wired to do very similar things with our parents. So, what is the difference, and how is it that you raise your kids today? And how can you tell others to do the same?
I love this question too. Like you said, my mom, and again, with the very best intentions, just, steered us on the path she thought was best. And initially, when I became a mother, and this was before I went through my big transformation, my reaction to that was just not even wanting to have to control my children or enforce things or be that strict, stern, you're doing things this way. Like, and with some things with clothing and stuff that was easy, right?
Yeah.
But then other things that was so hard. And even my friends saw that. But then as I got to know myself, trust myself, respect myself. Now it's much more I lead by example. And it's just, I let my kids really explore who they are. As teenagers, especially, I tell them the biggest thing for them to learn and figure out right now is what's exciting to them? What is the path that's exciting? And we'll figure out whether that is college or whatever it is, what feels exciting? What do you want to learn about? As opposed to me growing up, it was just like, oh, you do school, you do these things. So I'm trying to just lead by example, let them do what feels good to them, but also while having my own trust in myself that I will step up or, you can't do that, boundaries, things like that, where I used to not trust myself and it was so hard, basically. And now I can trust myself. It's so different from how I was raised, where I by the time I got to high school, college, I had zero trust or knowledge in myself. And so what I'm doing with my children is really trying to instill that in them.
That's beautiful because that's exactly what conscious parenting really is, right?
Yes.
I feel like we have to better ourselves first in order to be able to better our children and to change the transition, to change the script of our story. The way that we were raised could have really influenced us in a good way and some not in a good way. And then how can we make those changes in order to influence our kids the best that we can at the same time? But I also believe, like you just said, we have to make those transformations in order to change that so that we could be better parents to our kids. Again, our kids will probably find something that we were not as good as, and even, maybe form into even a better parent as they get older. But we're all here learning in a journey, which I love that you said that too, because we're here learning, we're doing our best, and we're letting our kids go. Let them find that excitement. Let them find that love. And it's hard to do that as a parent sometimes because you want them to be perfect in every situation. And it's like, no, you just have to let go. That's really beautiful. I love that you said that. Okay.
Thank you.
Motherhood and spirituality. I want to talk about this. As a mother, you've spoken about how your spiritual practices changed not only how you see yourself, but also how you raise your daughters. That's really important. What has been the most surprising way your journey inward has shaped your motherhood today?
Another great question. I love all these. Um, Thinking about this, it's when I first became a mother, and I did mention this in my story, I was terrified. This was the biggest responsibility. I I didn't even know, who I was, how to take care of myself. Barely, I felt like, and then I have this child, and I think what's changed so much with my own spirituality as a mother is just who I am. I'm a completely different person now, looking back to who I was then. And like you said, it's a complete transformation, but it was necessary for me to reparent myself, reparent my inner child, take that time to heal myself along this journey in order to be present and have those emotions for my children. So it's wow. So, I was doing my best. I was barely surviving, I feel like, as a parent before my spiritual journey, which basically forced this journey. And has turned me into a mother who at least I can trust my decisions, my actions. Of course, I'm not perfect. Of course, we can look back and want to beat ourselves up, but it's like, we know better, we do better. I can live more confidently, just have more space, more presence. And it's just amazing how even those little baby steps in your spiritual journey will keep making those little changes as you go. So it's nice to see the progression along the way as well.
Baby steps. That's
Yes.
big. That's big, right? So many of us want to rush into all of these spiritualness and to get it faster and faster and faster.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more. How do you take those baby steps?
I love this because this is one of the things I always try to impart to people and teach is, especially right now, especially everybody is going through so much change and
Mm,
it can feel chaotic. And it's like, we have to trust that we're taken care of no matter what. We have to trust that in the bigger picture, wherever we are, is exactly where we're supposed to be. So those baby steps are those little signs from the universe as far as like, okay, this is the next thing. This is, even if it doesn't make sense, in the real world. Oh my gosh, what about the money? What about this? This doesn't seem like the right rational decision. But if it's the universe telling you to take that little baby step, you have to trust it, because then the next step will come. So many times you're not ever going to know the bigger picture. It's going to change. And if you just keep trusting that next step the universe is giving you, you'll see how much more it gets easier. It unfolds. You could learn to trust yourself along this journey. That's how it happens. But it's every one of those little baby steps, one step at a time. I love that question, especially now during Virgo season. That's the lesson. One step at a time. You can't go faster than that.
doesn't
Yep.
that remind you of our path as a human itself? Like we had to take those steps in order to get to where we are today,
Yeah.
right? Like I think
Yeah.
that's it reminds me of a little bit of that. It's like, we had to go to kindergarten and then grade one and then grade two and then grade three. We couldn't go straight to grade 12 because there's no way of us learning or knowing anything in grade 12. It's like those little baby steps that will take you to the next step. Little baby steps that will take you to the next step. And so don't rush it. I think that's really important, right? I love that. I love that you brought that up this time because I am one of those where I like to rush it. It's like, come on, I need to know more. I need to know more. Like, just take it easy and close your eyes. So thank you for those reminders. That's so important for us. Let's talk a little bit about wisdom and for others. So many women listening may also be walking through their own dark nights or big life transitions. So what gentle wisdom or daily practice would you share with someone who feels lost, but is longing to find their way back to themselves?
It's a similar answer to the last one as far as,
Yeah.
and I remember being there. I remember being at that point, and like you said, I want to rush too. As soon as I can quickly see the end game where I'm like, oh, let's get there. But it's taking each of those baby steps. So it's just trusting that you'll get there. The time will pass. It will come. Um, it's just trusting in the unknown and
But
trusting that you're safe.
at that
Yeah.
moment, they're feeling down. They're feeling exhausted. They're tired. And it's easy to, to trust and stuff to get there. But there's something that we could probably do in order to feel that it's coming. I think that's the most important. It's so hard because I remember when I was going through that same thing, right? When I'm down and I'm low, it's like, am I ever going to see that light through that tunnel again? Those
Yeah.
tears in my eyes, like not knowing where I'm going. Am I in the right place? Am I not in the right place? Your story says a lot of those tears, they were there. Am I doing the right thing? Am I really there? Like,
I love
what's that? Do you believe in those miracles? Do you believe that? Yes. Or do you, like, how would you say, like, how would someone be able to say, yes, I believe in this?
Um, I love that you brought up that, like, okay, so when you're in that deep dark moment, it's not also rushing out of that or skipping
Mm,
past that. It's so important to sit in that. And one of the biggest tools I've learned for myself, even just in the last few years, is when you're there, not to judge, not to skip past it, but I really like to sit with myself and just take the moment to give myself the parenting, the mothering that I didn't have, what that inner child is calling for. And I'll often just kind of hug myself and I'll sit and be like, you're right. This feels awful. You're right. Like just the parenting and the mothering and the compassion. And when I'm able to do that and sit with that and just let the tears out and not try to rationalize them or just skip past it, when I can sit and take that time, and I can then more easily just find that, oh wow, that heaviness from that particular thing is a little bit easier. And then when that little trigger comes around, I notice, oh wow, it's a tiny bit easier. And it's just knowing that when you sit in that, you can get through it. You can
mhm.
shift it, and it does get easier when it comes back around to the point you don't even get triggered,
Yeah.
let's say, by that anymore. And that's something a lot of us skip past, like not feeling like it's okay to take the time or to cry or to have compassion for ourselves. So I think
Yeah.
that's a big step you can take
Yeah. I
to
love
shift out
that.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, just really be you. Allow the process. Allow for you to feel that way. It's okay to feel that way. Cry it out, no judgment, no feeling easy. Just let it be. If you're feeling that way and you're in the darkness and you're tired or you're not feeling good or you're in that place where you just don't know if you're going to get out of it, it's okay. It's okay. Just feel it, let it out. I think the crying part, like you said, like, let you cry it out because you need to process that. A lot of the others, what they do is they just brush it off and say, fine, it's okay. It's okay. I'm okay with it. I don't want to do it anymore. Like, I don't want to deal with this. I just let it go and I'll just start my life again. And they don't heal themselves with that. And then that's how they continue to build it inside of them and build it inside of them, right? And that's how we blow up and depression can start happening. And that's because depression starts from thinking about your past because you've not healed it. So, yeah, I really like that you said that. Really look within, allow yourself to be who you are, and don't judge yourself. That's really important. Thank you so much. Honestly, Christina, you've written so beautifully about transformation and self-love. Would you share a short passage from your story that feels closest to your heart right now? Like something that could be a little light or teaser for those listening, and also an encouragement to anyone navigating their own struggles.
I have a little bit picked out. So I'll read this for you
Yeah.
now. Yeah. So through the process of my divorce, I lost not only my husband and family unit, but also myself. I had to completely crumble, shatter, disintegrate, and break into a million tiny pieces in order to rebuild myself, to relearn myself, to make myself brand new, shiny, and full of love, hope, and worth. But it took years to get myself back there, of just putting one foot in front of the other, of just telling myself to keep going, even when life itself felt hopeless.
Oh my God. That is so beautiful. You know what reminded me when I was reading that passage of yours and I was reading that story? It's like when we transform, somehow the people around us disappear, some of them, right? When
Yeah.
we transform ourselves and we start becoming better and we start loving ourselves even more and we start to grow a lot more, some of these people around us was just we just need to like let go because they don't understand it or they don't know it or they're not in that same boat as you, and somehow you just have to walk the new journey, the new transformation in order to find the new tribe. And
Yep.
that's what it reminds me. It's like you keep going, you keep looking for that star, you keep shining, and you keep being that best mom or that best person that you are today. I love that, Christina. I'm so happy that you're able to read that. That just really gave me goosebumps. And I just love you. And I'm so happy. I'm so excited for others to read your story. So before we close, can you share with us how others can connect with you if they feel called to reach out?
Absolutely. Right now, I have a presence on Instagram. I have two different accounts that I use. One of them is at Bumstina, Bumstina, and my other one is Christina B Shiny. That's Christina and you can always feel free to email me at tarot at bumstina.com. I love doing readings, talking to people, helping people through their journeys. Same thing I'm going through. So absolutely reach out. I'm here. So thank you.
Oh my God. Yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it. I will add all of those information into the description below so you guys have it. You guys can click on it and get right on there so you can connect with Christina. She's a wonderful, beautiful woman inside and out. She's a beautiful, conscious mother too, as well. So many questions that you can ask her. She's also a card reader. Are you a medium by any chance?
I don't say that. I've definitely I'll use intuitive, but
Intuitive.
no,
Okay.
I wouldn't say like medium or
Yeah, yeah.
psychic.
So she is, so
Sometimes, but
that's
not,
wonderful. I love that. The
yeah.
fact that you can even do all of that, that's wonderful. I think there's a lot of moms and women out there that would love to be able to connect with you and do those kind of fun things. Her Instagram is phenomenal. She has so much going on in there too, as well. We love her. We love who she is. Her energy lights us all up. Her smile just is so amazing for all of us. We love her. We love who she is. And I can't wait for you to read her story. So, a conversation with Christina. Oh my God, her words remind us that even in the hardest transition, we are never lost. We are simply being guided back to ourselves. I hope you felt the tenderness, the strength, and the quiet wisdom that she carries. Christina's journey is a reminder that healing is not about becoming someone new, but it's about remembering who we truly are and living from that place of love and truth. So thank you, Christina, for opening your heart and sharing a glimpse of your path with us today. I know your story will continue to shine as a light for so many. And for our listeners, may you take Christina's reflections as a gentle invitation to pause, breathe, and listen inwards because your light too is waiting to rise. Thank you, Christina. Love you lots.
Thank you.
Be Light to Raise Light is a sacred and extraordinary platform where mothers are invited to shine brilliantly and share their unique stories with the world. Through books, stages, social gatherings, and more, we elevate these voices to the highest vibration, illuminating not only their personal journeys, but the collective consciousness of the world. Our vision is to create a radiant community of mothers who come together to inspire, empower, and light up the world with their truth and wisdom. Be Light to Raise Light is a space where authenticity thrives, stories resonate, and every woman's light is celebrated. Join us in this beautiful mission by becoming part of our community. Follow us on Facebook at Be Light to Raise Light, or on Instagram at Be Light to Raise Light, or connect with us directly by email at inspire@belighttoraiselight.com. Together, let's ignite a movement of light, love, and transformation.